We're on Lake Havasu catching giant red ear. Well, I tried to find a quiet corner here out of the wind. We're here on the 19th of April, and my son August and I came over to Lake Havasu. He had Good Friday off, so we came over early yesterday morning on Friday, and we camped overnight just north of Cattail, the Cattail Park, State Park and boat launch area. Yesterday was a little calmer, not quite as windy. And we definitely had some weather moving through. We had cloudy skies, and we had some rain move in midday, and it shut us down for a few hours in the afternoon, but the evening bite was really good for largemouth, smallmouth, and we found some big red ear. This is my son's first time over on Lake Havasu, and I wanted to try to catch him some red ear, and he caught his first red ear this morning. Our setup is pretty simple. It's just a drop shot rig on I would say a medium light or a light fishing pole would be good, but I really love my Fenwick Eagle rods. These are medium light, but they handle large fish well, and if you get a smaller fish, it still feels like you're fighting something. We're using 6-pound test, just in case we tie into a largemouth or a smallmouth. But I think on a clear, calm day, you might need maybe go down to 4-pound test. Light refraction and the brighter sunny days, they might be a little more line shy. On the business end, I'm using about a size, I think that's a size 8 octopus circle hook, and I'm using yellow just to maybe buy a few more bites. Probably don't need to be using yellow, but just a mosquito hook or a octopus hook and thread that worm on. And we're only using a half crawler. Once in a while I'll use 2 halves, so you have a twin tail, have a little bit of action, especially on a windy day. And for the weight, I'm just using casting bass sinkers. You can use your traditional drop shot weights too, but these for $1 for 10 at Walmart, you can't beat it. So threading the worm on the hook is pretty simple. I just go in through the head and feed it on, so you cover up most of your shank. So when you're presenting the bait, it looks a lot like that. I'll be taking trips here the rest of the spring. It's the 19th of April, but usually till the middle of May, the weather's pretty decent over here. It's going to start warming up real soon, but just got to head out early mornings or late afternoons. These giant red ear on Lake Havasu are a bucket list fish for a lot of people. The biggest fish we caught here this weekend coming over was 14.5 inches. A lot of these fish are 15 plus inches, and I think the record over here is about 6 pounds. So a lot of large fish to be had, and of course smallmouth and largemouth fishing's excellent as well. Yeah, these fish we've been catching this weekend are staging. They're not quite spawning yet, so we're fishing deep drop-offs close to big flats or reefs where these fish will be spawning. A lot of the bays have figures that go out into 15, 18 feet of water. And we're catching them right where you can see Lake Havasu is so clear, you can see where that reef ends and it drops off. We're casting right to that edge. Midday right now, we're casting to that where the blue water meets the light blue water. So right where that deep edge is, that's where I've been directing my son to cast to, is that transition point. That's right where they're sitting, right where that light penetration starts to reduce. And those fish are sitting on, you know, those 12 to 18 foot break lines. The water's still about 65 to 67 degrees. As soon as we break 70, you know, 70 to 75, these red ear are going to be moving into these shallow flats, and they'll be very, very catchable as well. But we're catching them at their largest size right now before they get into their full reproduction. Reach out if you want to head over to Lake Havasu. I'd be happy to set you up and book some dates for you.